Hello there, welcome to Club Xbox and Club PlayStation VR. This is level 8 of Season 2. How's it going, Mr. Jason?
It's going quite well, and let's be honest, today it's really all about Club PSVR.
Yes, it is. So Aaron is out sick, sadly. Hopefully he'll turn around really quickly, and next week he will be able to talk with us about this awesome stuff. Because we all three of us are now PSVR users and owners, and I'd say I know me. I'm a fan. I think
I'm beyond a fan, and for the record, I also think it needs to be pointed out. I think we're the only podcast that all the hosts have them of their own money.
probably true. Probably true. Yes.
And yeah, I'm more than a fan.
I'm so sold on this stuff.
I know it sounds like hyperbole, but I told my friend this changes everything.
It's a different way of playing. So we got the traditional TV gaming, Xbox and PlayStation. We got the awesome Nintendo Switch as another way of playing, and we got VR, which is a totally different way from either of those two options.
I completely agree.
And both will coexist for a long time, and I think there is a reason for them to coexist.
Yeah, I actually think that it definitely will not supplant traditional gaming, and I'm not even talking from a cost perspective. Just in general, I can understand why
They're
it would
different
not.
gameplay styles and experiences.
They are, mind you. One of the games I'll be talking about later, personally, could have existed just fine on the Wii U, but we'll go into details as we really start
Okay.
talking about
Okay.
that.
Okay. So yeah, we both have them. We will dive into our setup experiences, and Jason has a story for that one.
Oh, Jesus Christ, do
And I
I?
gotta say, I'm very happy with the cord situation. My setup is very clean looking, so I'm anxious to hear how yours is. Mine, I don't see why everyone's complaining about it. You just need to have proper thought process and where you
I'll be
put
honest.
things.
Yeah, the only
People putting them right on top of their PS4s are stupid. In my
no,
mind.
the
You gotta
only
separate
cord
those things.
the only cord issue I have is the fact that the PS4 doesn't have any back USB, and that results in that one USB cord
Yeah,
running
so
that
I've got
way.
that basically just from
Um,
instantly going backwards.
that having been said, are you aware the PS4 Pro does have a back USB port?
Does it have more
Yeah,
USB ports than the two?
it has three. Yes, two in the front, one in the back.
One more.
Which I dare say, I don't think anybody can argue that that port exists for anything other than the PSVR.
Yeah. Well, it's getting cramped because if I want my wireless headphones, which I don't use as much with the VR right now, but
Yeah.
so wireless, and then I have one cable that I normally have plugged in for charging, and then so I normally would need three, but the wireless is not plugged in right now. But
I almost
anyways, we will dive into this stuff later. I just want to quit before we get to that. Some news, some new game announcements that are out, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, before we even get to new games, you want to real quick anything like Xbox specific highlight before we really dive into the rest of PlayStation?
I mean, I was just going to mention Xbox news. Gears of War 4 is now available, getting pretty good reviews, and Forza Horizon 3 has been out for a long time. I'm not sure if we've mentioned it yet, but those two are exclusive and out.
Yeah, those are games. I wanted to highlight that Xbox is the leading console 3 months in a row now. I'm really interested to see what happens in October with the PSVR. I think that's going to juice some sales there. And then November with the PS4 Pro coming out.
You
I
think
think
people will
there's.
buy consoles for VR? They'll get the whole, like, I'm buying a console and VR.
I think that there is a high possibility.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So other than that, and of course, multi-platform. But it's one of the other biggest news that happened recently. Of course, was the announcement of Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out fall.
Did you see the trailer? I know it came out today.
Oh no, I didn't even notice an actual trailer came out
Yeah, it
today.
came out right along when Nintendo was announcing their Switch.
Yeah, who the hell would do anything during? I mean, anyways.
Well, to be fair, Red Dead was first in their announcement of that. Nintendo just said, "Hey, let's do it then."
Well, other people do Rockstar. No, is it Rockstar? Yeah, Rockstar. The courtesy of moving out of the way when Grand Theft Auto comes out. They should have done Nintendo the courtesy of moving out of the way for their announcement.
Yeah, sure.
But that's not
So
here or
Red Dead
there.
Redemption
Yeah.
2, I haven't played the first one. I own it now on Xbox One. I'm going to play it at some point.
How was the trailer? I mean?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't want? Okay, you just know
No, I
it's
know
out.
this is a very hyped game. People are looking forward to it. It's a great studio. Fall 2017 announced for PS4 and Xbox One. No PC version announced at this time.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5 took, what, like 6 months to come out on
It did,
PC.
yeah.
So I'm not really too surprised by that. They are, that AAA developer that does nothing but amazing quality stuff, but focuses on the consoles, and that's where their home is, and I respect them for that.
Yep. In games that are out news, Battlefield 1 now available for all
Getting
intents
good
and purposes.
reviews.
It is good, good.
Yes.
That game looked intriguing. World War One. Well,
Yeah, I'm not. I've said previously, I'm just not that big military shooter fan. I understand World War One is actually intriguing because it's a time when you literally have men on horses who still wielded swords
right.
going up against literal tanks.
Yep.
So for that reason, I understand why it's interesting. But I've spent my time in the military. I don't necessarily
Yeah, you
care
don't need to
for it.
relive that, right?
I
It's
don't.
like, yeah, no. The long-awaited, much acclaimed Batman Return to Arkham is now available. This is the remastered versions of Batman 1 and 2. Which one?
Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm sorry, Batman Arkham Asylum is one, and then Batman Arkham City is two. I'm very interested in that. I've only played them briefly. I will also, not trying to deviate back, but after playing Batman Arkham VR, I really want to dive more into that and get to know what's going on there. Batman is the only DC superhero that I really like, so maybe this will finally be my chance to dive in.
Cool deal. Yeah, I've never played any of these games, so good opportunity. I owned the last one, Arkham Knight. It was on sale for like $10 digitally, so I got that. So at some point, when this game goes on sale, I'll probably get it.
Yeah.
I got lots of play.
The other big title that came out since the last time we met was, of course, Mafia 3. That's another one that's getting really great reviews. I'm sorry, it's getting primarily great reviews. There are some middling reviews in there that basically say it's one of the best stories you're ever going to experience in a game, but maybe it shouldn't have been a game type of thing.
Sure.
Or at least it shouldn't have been open world. Of course, being from Louisiana and it's set in a mythical or, the alter New Orleans type of thing, it has some special ring here, but I am kind of interested in trying that because I also appreciate the fact that the developer refused to shy away from the sensitive racist tones that permeated the time.
Yeah. Other releases: Rise of Tomb Raider 20th Anniversary Celebration. It's on PS4 as well as Xbox One did get this release, which has all the DLC and that extra mode thing as well. PS4 enabled level on PSVR enabled level on PS4, but it has not gotten good reviews.
No, it got some of the jankiest reviews, though. I did recently hear Greg and Colin on
Mostly the freeform thing. If you do the regular comfort mode, it's fine.
Yeah, well, Greg over at PS I Love You, former host of Podcast Beyond, was saying that they really make you warm up first, but he actually didn't have complaints, but they've been all in on the VR, so it might be one of those games that you just kind of need your VR legs for before you can really appreciate.
Return your mind. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 Definitive Edition and Mafia 3 now available. So those are all the games there's a lot of stuff out. And Titanfall 2 is on the way and lots of other stuff.
Yeah, this is actually going to be one of the slowest holiday seasons we've had, though, with a number of games that got pushed out of it, which is actually kind of good for everybody involved.
Oh, for sure. Anything else? Ready to get in the VR stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. We could have started 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, okay, cool deal. So PSVR is now out. Jason, what was your initial experiences? You took the day off work, a whole weekend.
It came out Wednesday night. I took Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm already off Sunday and Monday off work. And I go to the midnight launch at my GameStop. I pick up my console, my VR. I'm ecstatic. Get home. I took the time off.
Unboxing experience.
Yeah, I've got the beautiful box, great packaging. I love it. And of course, if anybody didn't know, I got the $500 bundle.
Which is very hard to find these days.
Yes, I had the
$500 thing is easy to find.
Oh yeah. Not only did I have the $500 bundle, I had Valkyrie.
Now, pro tip, the Sony website has stock tracking that you won't find at Best Buy and other places. You'll be able to find inventory of both $500 and $400 bundle that you won't find on the respective companies' websites. They have some sort of better tracking that will let you know what's in stock. So
That's
perfect.
good. Yeah, good pro tip. Um, so I get it home. Like I said, I've got Eve Valkyrie, I've got Riggs Mechanized Combat, I've got Batman Arkham VR, I've
Oh, you
got
got
just
some good ones there. Yeah,
yeah, all retail, no digital there. I
of
did buy
course.
some digital games later, but I digress. So I get home, and first of all, it is a mess of wires the first time you look at it. After you get it hooked up, it all makes perfect sense. But that first time you're hooking it up, you're just kind of looking at it and going, well, shiza. And I personally try to go out of my way to figure it out manually first, but I very quickly realized, well, actually, I realized, maybe not very quickly, I'm not going to do this by myself, so I get the book out. So I start getting the book
The
out,
book
and
is
I'm
handy.
yes, and I mean the numbered wires and the matching up the symbols. I do love that. It's a small detail, but I love that. I'm doing everything. I get it all plugged in, boot up the PS4, and I got nothing. I've got nothing on my TV. I've got nothing on my headset. I literally spent an hour and a half myself. Maybe because the first time I turned it on, I had the PS4 turned on when I was plugging it in. Let me turn everything off. I rebooted about 37 times. I checked every wire connection. I did every fracking thing I could. And at this point, I'm salty. So I call Sony. First of all, they don't make it easy to call them. I find a number to call, and I only reason I found a number to call, I went to the website and I started digging around until I got a number. And of course, their hours do
Yeah, what
not.
time of day is this, Jason? We're doing all this.
This is approximately 12:45 in the morning. Okay, like just after midnight at this point because it launched at 11 o'clock local time. And their hours, they have regular hours posted, but I'm like, screw it, I can always try. Good thing I did because PSVR launched, they had the call centers open 24 hours, let me tell you. And I get a guy, we're on the phone an hour and 22 minutes, at the end of which I am told, well, Mr. Novak, it looks like you've got a faulty unit. Okay, what are we going to do about that? Well, we're going to send you a box, and you're going to put the unit back in the box, and then you're going to send it to us. And once we get it, we'll get it fixed. Usually it'll take you about 3 to 5 business days to get the box. You send it back to us, and we guarantee to have it back to you, back your way within 7 to 10 business days.
That does not sound like a satisfactory
I said,
response.
oh, no, no. I clarified to make it even more unsatisfactory. So I said, you mean to tell me I just gave you $700 and you want me to not be able to use that for almost 3 weeks that it's going to take me to get it back? I said, you're not going to send me a replacement unit first. You're not going to send me a temporary unit. You're not going to do anything other than give me a big FU. Well, sir, it's going to take 3 to 5 days. He refused to acknowledge that I was being boned. Didn't even apologize. Just, well, this is the policy. This is how it works. Jason was unhappy and told the gentleman, well, I sure as Shiza hope that GameStop will return this before you guys can actually decide to take care of me as a customer. And I hung up on him.
No asking for supervisors and all that shenanigans.
Oh, I was on hold about 13 times while he kept
Oh,
trying to
okay.
confer with said supervisors.
Okay.
So at this point, I'm heated. I'm salty. I haven't had much sleep, but I'm going to bed. I go to bed and I go to GameStop the next day and I explain to them the situation. I'm going to throw this out there. I don't care who you are listening to this, and I don't care what the internet says. GameStop bent over backwards to help me. They had no premium bundles in my area. They started checking in the outlying area because I had a premium bundle. They couldn't change me out for the lesser bundle because I needed my Move controllers and my camera anyways, but they bent over backwards to help me. And now we're into Thursday, the day it properly came out, but they didn't have any in the immediate area. So long story short, they're like, come back tomorrow morning, aka Friday. Let's see what we can do. So I do exactly that. And I come back Friday and they're able to get a bundle for me and I get it changed out. And we're thinking Jason's about to be in VR heaven. There's part of this story I haven't shared with you, Tim. Jason gets a second bundle home, plugs it in, and nothing. Nothing on my headset, nothing on my TV. So at this point, I'm a tech guy and I'm smart. I also know I am not that unlucky. I did not get the only 2 consoles in Louisiana that do not work. So apparently my first bundle probably was not broken. I also remember you guys sharing a story that the PSVR can be used in cinema display for any HDMI display.
That
So I
is correct.
proceed to pull my PSVR into a different room. For the record, I have tried the PSVR on the PlayStation 4. I have 3 different TVs. One's a plasma, one's an LED, one's a DLP projector. I've tried about 14 different HDMI cables. I have ruled almost everything out. So I plug my second PSVR into my Xbox One, and ta-da, it works. Well, that's not good. So I call Sony again. Come to find out, though it's not a widespread problem, apparently I'm one in a million, I have some weird random defect in my PS4 that makes the HDMI work just fine, but not for the PSVR. There is a flaw there. And I said,
That's a
well, you
little
do understand that the warranty is only good for a year, and I've had this system 3 years. So 2 years ago, when my warranty ran out, there was no PSVR for me to know that once again I have this flaw. Well, don't worry. Sony agreed to fix it free of charge, but guess what? They're going to send me a box. It's going to take 3 to 5 days to get here, and then I send it off, and it's going to take them 7 to 10 days to fix it and get it back to me.
But thankfully, Jason has a buddy
Who has a PS4. So it's actually my brother. He brought his PS4 over, and I transferred all of my information onto it, plugged it in, and I was in VR heaven.
That's
And
quite the tale of getting your unit all set up.
it was 100%. That was absolutely unacceptable service by Sony. Their customer support policy about not sending out replacement units. I had the money that I could have gone and bought another PS4 if I wanted to, but I shouldn't have to do
Apple
that.
stores for Sony, right?
They need something. I called Apple at 4 o'clock one day because I had lost a power cord to my time capsule. And 3 o'clock the next afternoon, I had one at my front door in my hand. So, yeah. But either way, GameStop was wonderful. Sony's support, the people were great, but their corporate policies really screwed me over. But I am now in VR land, and I could not be happier. How was your experience?
Okay, so mine was very simple. I bought it, I plugged it in, and it worked.
Yeah.
And I just randomly went on Friday after work, and it was in stock. There were 2 left. Picked one of them, of the 2, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean, the base unit, just my one GameStop had 5 of the base models, not the...
Yeah, those are not hard to find.
Yeah, so it really just sucks that, of course, I got the premium bundle. That kind of screwed me over a little bit there. I might have even been up and running a day sooner type of thing.
Yeah, but, yeah, you got the controllers and all that good stuff. So
yes, I'm
invested. I have from eBay, I got a $5 battery to replace the controller, because I guess apparently used controllers don't have good batteries.
Battery decay over time, yeah.
So I'm doing a bit of surgery on one of the Move controllers to fix that. So I should be up and running with the Move controller shortly.
That having been said, so the larger bundle does come with the new camera. I actually
like that design better or worse?
I like it worse.
Oh. I'm sorry I have your better design.
It's fine. The problem is because the new camera is circular and the stand doesn't work quite the same way. The old camera worked just fine on top of the TV that I have it on, but this one, I'm 100% not kidding you. I very literally have to tape the stand to the TV to get it sit up there properly.
Now, why? I see people with the stands on top of the TV. Why not underneath the TV?
Well, first of all, with the PSVR and the PlayStation camera, they specifically say to do that. But the other thing is my TV, my setup where I'm playing, my TV is on a swivel mount, and my chair is actually at about a 20-degree angle offset from the entertainment stand. So putting it not onto the TV would be difficult for it to properly recognize.
Okay, so yours is not like mine's on a table, so I can just angle whatever I want.
It's also a case of I would just be off center, and then if I move the TV or if I change where I'm playing because of the when I say swivel mount, I mean it's on a wall-mounted arm swivel mount.
That makes more sense now. Okay,
and it gives me way more playroom.
I've often contemplated having a swivel chair when you're playing VR.
Okay, so the chair that I'm playing. The chair that I'm playing in, we jokingly in my house refer to as the Rock'em Sock'em Swing'em Chewachan. To explain the chair to you.
That is quite the nickname.
Yes. We bought them at Pier 1 Import. It's about $500 once you put the whole chair together. But you basically are sitting inside of a rattan egg. So I have 2 armrests, and I'm sitting in the middle of this circular egg-shaped thing that is suspended from a single chair on a harness, or from a single chain on a harness. So
I like the sound, Jason. This does not sound...
Except for the fact that not only is it comfortable because of the cushions that come with it and everything, I have full 360-degree swivel momentum, or swivel movement, and I can rock and move in the chair.
Okay, you're not like closed in. It's not like it's
No,
surrounds you or something.
no, yeah, it's generally egg shaped, but the whole front is open to sit in.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
And it's especially for Eve Valkyrie and rigs. I felt like I was already sitting in a cockpit.
That's pretty great. It's pretty
It
great.
it added to the immersion, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, a racing wheel I feel is essential for Drag Club VR.
A good one at that. I tried Drive
Yes.
Club VR. I was disappointed.
I hear the full game is better than the demo, and I hear the full game you're able to have third-person view, kind of like Playroom VR, how you have a third-person. So it's great being in the cockpit, but I realize third-person virtual reality is actually a really
In the demo, you
cool
don't have to be in the
experience.
cockpit.
What's that? Yeah, in the demo, but the full game you're
No,
able
no.
to.
In the demo, you do not have to be in the cockpit.
Ooh, I gotta try that. Okay.
Yeah. But my problem is if I'm going for immersion on a VR game, I sure as shiza am not going to be able to do it with a controller. I need a good enough racing wheel that it can also offer resistance based off of tire traction and stuff like that. I am a well-trained driver. I've driven a very large and expansive number of different types of vehicles, everything up to and including small tanks. So if I'm going to go for full immersion, there are things that I need sensory feedback that I
You
have
need
to
like a
have.
cup holder in your virtual reality.
I don't need the cup holder, but like I said, that wheel that has resistance, because when you're driving, you can feel the traction of the tires coming around at a high rate of speed. That I've got to have that. Otherwise, it just doesn't work for me.
Now, I mentioned wires earlier. A lot of people complain about this. I don't quite get their complaint. So a couple things in mind. People complain that why they give you like this long USB cord to go from the PS4 to the VR box, and the reason in my mind is pretty simple. I think it's pretty stupid to stack the boxes on top of each other. I think put some distance there. You have the PS4. At least I have it on the ground, and then the
I
box
don't
is a good way a bit. You know.
I don't have distance between them, but they still also aren't stacked. I have them actually side by side. Just because of the setup that I have, I've got the room for that on my shelf.
Yeah, so I've got a setup where I've got different compartments, so I can have the the unit up above with the console down below. And we just lost Jason.
Ooh, sorry.
There you are. Did you
Yeah.
just hang up on me on accident?
Actually, yes, I was trying to mute for a moment, and I did accidentally hang up
It's
my.
all good. I thought your internet was stupid.
I know
So I
you.
was just saying, my setup's where I have different tiers. So on the very top, we'll have the little tiny box, and the very bottom, the PS4, and it makes it so it spreads out nicely. And the only cable is from that box to the headset.
Well, due to the multiple rooms, I mean, I have, like, the PS4 is the only thing hooked up to that TV in that room. My Xbox One is hooked up to a completely different TV in a completely different room. PS3, I have lots of TVs to hook things up to, so it is actually the only thing hooked up there, which also helps with the room and the wire clutter and everything like that. But I agree. Other than that singular wire going from the front of the PS4 to the back of the PSVR, I have no issue with the wires that are there. And I haven't had any problem tripping over it. I haven't had any problem it getting tangled up in anything, in the way, anything along those lines. So, yeah.
Cool. And what else? I'm using the gold headset with mine.
I actually started using first the earbuds that came with it because the audio isn't exceptional in them, but at first I didn't know where a cable like this was for me to hook up my gold headset. And you have to get the positional audio, which is very important to me, you have to have it manually wired in, which I almost feel is a shame on Sony's part. I feel like it shouldn't take much
firmware update. Come on.
It shouldn't take much crosstalk or communication to allow for a wireless, headset send something to the PS4 to send something to the headphones.
Yeah, the audio is being processed through that box, that standalone box. There's some audio chip in there that's doing some magic work.
Which all that it's doing, though, is getting the GPS relation from the camera to where the headset is, that it could simply just tell that audio to push to the PS4 to wirelessly push to the headset.
Yeah,
it's a minor quibble.
Hopefully a software updater firmware update will change that.
Even if it doesn't, it still works. Though I will say the headset isn't the most comfortable. Actually, the gold headset with the PSVR headset, that combo isn't the most comfortable thing for me,
No.
especially because the gold headset here just doesn't have the snug fit that the PSVR does. So when you're playing Batman Arkham VR and doing the Batarang gallery, whipping your head and your hands around, or playing rigs, moving around, or anything that has a
You're doing
lot of
some
head,
fast motion there.
this headset will not stay on like
Mm.
you would like it to.
Okay. Curious. Well, I think overall the headset's really comfortable.
Oh yeah,
It's really amazing how.
what's the longest
quick,
you've worn yours?
like an hour, maybe.
Yeah, see, I'm already up to the 3-4 hours of
See,
straight gaming.
It's also impressive me how quick you can just take it on and off. Like, if you need to look at your phone real quick, you can either just push the thing forward to glance down a little bit, or taking it on and off is really easy. The
It
headphones
is.
get in the way a little bit, but that's about it.
It is. Two things related to taking it on and off. One, I actually personally, I don't know, I guess partially because I'm wearing glasses. When I try and pull it away from my face, I don't get enough clearance for me to, quote, look down at my phone. So, yes, I usually end up just kind of lifting it up, that sort of thing.
I
But
have
that's
had
a,
to clean the screen in the headset because my glasses have been
yes.
bumping up against it.
I actually bought a container of Clorox wipes. I have wiped my headset down repeatedly because I am up to 4 different people other than myself who I have allowed to use my headset, and I'll be darned if I'm getting their face germs. But along those lines, I did finally force my wife to sit down and try PSVR. Now,
What do you think?
from a non-gamer, before we start talking about the games, just the headset, the setup, and everything like that. Firstly, it's not really difficult, but she wasn't uncomfortable, but she never was quite comfortable with getting it set up.
Okay.
In addition to that, she did want me to point out she was specifically wearing, a hair headband, and she wanted to say for anybody out there who it is relevant to, she had no comfort issues wearing the headband with the headset at the same time. So that's a definite plus.
Was she wearing makeup? Was that an issue at all?
My wife isn't a large makeup person,
Okay, so I've
so
heard some stories of like that getting on the headset if you have too much on.
no. I may live in the South, but it's and close to the French quarters, but not quite those kind of women.
Okay, Jason.
Anyways, but the other thing is about 6 years ago, my wife had LASIK surgery. As a result of the LASIK surgery, and my wife also has had really large pupils naturally, and she was told that the LASIK surgery, at Christmas time, Christmas lights have a halo effect to her. As a result of which, there is a minor. She has a very, very, very small sweet spot for the PSVR to get it in focus. And the moment she lets it go and shifts in any way, shape, or form, it loses a large amount of focus to her.
Tightening the wheel.
Yes. But I mean, especially when you've got hair and you tighten the wheel, all it kind of does is move hair, and then the moment you move, it's small person combined with the hair, combined with the small area of focus. Some people
tried. There's the way to measure your pupils.
I have.
Have you tried that?
I have not tried that with her. As a matter of fact, I haven't tried it with me because I've never had a major issue with it. But I do want to try some of those settings things and see if I can get it more comfortable for her because experience-wise, was better. That gaming-wise, experience, however you wish to call it, was better than the setup and or borderline comfort there. So, yeah.
Cool. So what did you have her try?
Okay, I had my wife try 2 things. One, I had her try Super Hypercube because my wife is a huge fan of Pack Attack, which is basically Tetris with Pac-Man mixed in. And I also had her try Invasion! Super Hypercube, she enjoyed the gameplay of it. It's a relatively relaxing sit down and play type of game. It took her a little bit to get comfortable because my wife is not a gamer and has extremely slow tendencies on trying to remap her motor control for the controllers. It took her probably 2 weeks before she was comfortable playing Super Mario 3D World. So even though Super Hypercube uses exactly three control or two things, the shoulder buttons and the analog stick, she wasn't quite comfortable by the time she finished. But she did acknowledge that there was entertainment to be had in the game. And Invasion, do
What'd
you
she
know it?
think of like the look of it? Like,
Oh, I mean,
did that alone wow her?
she was entertained by that. We're big
Like, it's very
sci-fi fans.
colorful.
Yeah, we're
Like,
big sci-fi
like you're living in
fans.
Tron almost.
Well, actually, we're big sci-fi fans, and she said she felt like she was walking through a Stargate.
As you've seen Stranger Things, because the text and everything is very Stranger Things-esque in that game.
Actually, when it was booting up, she asked, "Are we watching Stranger Things?" So yes. But then the other thing I had her try was Invasion! Exclamation mark. Are you familiar with this, Tim?
No, what is this?
It is not a game. It is I think 4, maybe 5 minute animated VR short.
So I've watched
Alumeta.
Alumeta. Yeah, I watched that, which is
I haven't watched.
good.
I haven't watched that one yet, but this one, while it's definitely not up to Pixar quality, it would be a DreamWorks quality
I would
short.
love if Pixar made a VR short or full length movie.
Well, the basic principle behind Invasion is you are a bunny, and aliens are coming to Earth, and the first species they see is you and a fellow bunny, so they obviously think it's your planet, and there's an interaction, and at the end of which the aliens run away. I will tell you that graphically there is an issue where I had like shudders at how bad it looked because you've got a bunny in the distance hopping through a rocky terrain that was so grainy and so pixelated until the bunny got closer that there was an honest shudder in the quality there. But other than that one scene, it was much better. And she found it very cute, though she did say that she could easily see an hour and a half to 2 hour movie where you're constantly whipping your head around.
Yeah, you need to be subtle looking around.
And this is not subtle, to say the least, because it starts off.
I feel was.
This one starts off, you're looking at Earth, and then you get to see the aliens fly in from space, but they land, they hover behind you. So if you want to see them, you got to turn around to look, and then they fly at Earth, so you're turning back to go look at Earth. And there's a lot of just to show what real immersion could be in a movie.
Right. Okay. Curious.
But as a whole, she enjoyed it. She needs a lot more time to get comfortable with it. And it
Do you
is.
own Thumper?
No, I do not.
That I feel is a very easy. It only involves two buttons, X and the joystick. So if you're looking for something that's simple to get into, it is a rhythm game, but a very good one and disguises itself as a rhythm game.
Okay.
But that would be something I might recommend. It's also very Tron-like.
Well, again, the base game of Super Hypercube she enjoyed. It's more just getting comfortable wielding the controller and or just finding her sweet spot for the headset.
Yeah, the controller can be unwielding for some people that aren't used to it because that does involve, you're using shoulder buttons and the joystick, and then you got the face buttons you're using a little bit too.
Yeah. Have you played Super Hypercube yet?
Oh, I have.
Oh, yes, you have. I remember.
Trying
yes.
to hit your highest score. I'm in the mid 300s, and you're in the 400s there. I'm getting better.
I think that by weekend I will probably be breaking 500 easy.
I'm going to be constantly chasing you in that game. Super Hypercube is... So, Jason, this was the demo I had at Best Buy when they were doing the demo rounds. And I, by chance, evidently played like one of the best VR games made for the system to date.
It is an amazing and a great game.
It's so addictive.
And it's also
it gets your mind moving too with
but it's also a relaxing game. It's one of those, as people describe some categories
VR being too intense where it's like this gets me tired, but this is something you just relax into this little
lean back instead of lean forward gaming.
No, I will lean forward some in it.
Yeah, but that's because you're trying to look around the item.
Now, Jason, one of the nights I realized I needed to see over this cube. Have you ever stood up while playing this game? I stood up and it's like, Oh my gosh, I can just look over it by standing up, and it's like, whoa.
I usually find myself leaning, and I'll lean this way so that I can constantly get like an over the shoulder view, and then like I'll
Yeah,
have to
you're like
turn it
doing this thing where you're
or
like looking around the
yeah.
corner. But it's a bizarre concept to explain because basically Super Hypercube, there's a hole in the wall that your block is propelling forward towards, and
You have a 3D block.
you have a 3D block, and more cubes get added to this big amorphous of a block, and as
You have to make the 2D profiles
yeah,
of the 3D cube line
exactly.
up.
So
Your
yeah, you have to
3D,
make 3D. You have to make 3D the 2D profile of this 3D cube fit through that hole, and sometimes it's pretty. It's almost luck as far as how the cubes land. Do you think is there influence when you're moving around? Does
nope,
it?
because I specifically went out of my way to try that.
Okay, and you taught me a really good trick of just try to get the 2D profiles at the very beginning. Just go through all the different 6 formations and try to visualize that instantly.
I was
So you
curious if
have
that
that.
had helped you.
That did help quite a bit. And I also noticed as you get further in the game, when you have a really huge cube, it actually pushes the cube forward away from you so you can see it better, which is
Yes.
kind of curious.
Also, what did you think the first time you got from a level 1 to level 2 where the wall in front of you turns?
That
Ev- Everybody that gets there, my wife, I had another friend play, and
I've
myself.
smashed through. It's like I've had it, and then it's like turning on me as I'm going through. It's like, oh no.
The first time it happens, everybody is like, "What the heck is this?"
I hate those parts. So, and also so sometimes I'll die. You have 2 lives. I'll die on purpose sometimes because like I'm gonna save this charge up of whatever bullet time to hopefully get to a bomb. I have not gotten the bomb yet. Have you gotten the bomb?
Yes.
You have.
Do you know how to charge that up?
How? Well, basically, you just have to keep not use it. You can't use the first one, right?
No. First of all, both of them charge up more
Based
by
on
using
boost.
by using X to boost in. So both of
So you have to
them.
be fast. The faster
Yes.
you are, the more you'll get.
Yes, and I have no problem spinning really quick and then bam and boosting through.
So what's the bomb do? What does
The
it do?
bomb keeps your shape intact and simply blows through the wall, the wall that you're in. Your shape doesn't change. It doesn't matter which direction you have it. It's just going to knock
So it's
down
basically like
the star in Mario so you can just walk through something.
yeah, okay. Now, I noticed this in Super Hypercube. Have you looked behind you after clearing a wall?
No, I had not, but you
You
did
need
tell
to
me.
try this, Jason.
Yeah.
Because the wall goes behind you, and you see your cleared wall as a white wall with the. It's the most wonderful touch because you think when you finish the wall, it's just like, oh, that wall's done. But
It
the
is a
wall behind you
wonderful.
is there.
It is a wonderful touch, but you spending time doing that explains why you can't get very far in the levels because you have a very
Yes,
limited
I'm
amount of
distracted
time.
looking at all the pretty things to get your high score. I also tried playing with the HUD off and the graphics. You can have the graphics less intense so that you're able to focus more. I tried that kind of stuff.
I haven't tried. I'm aware of them, but I had not tried
Yeah,
either of those
I like the
options.
defaults with everything on. Quite
Yeah.
honestly.
And while we're both enjoying this game, we are on a truncated timetable that I dare say we should move on to some of our other
We should.
games.
So Super Hypercube, highly recommend it. It's one of the best titles for PSVR. And then the other one I got is Thumper, but I'll get into that later. Let me have you dive into some of the stuff you've been playing.
The biggest one I really wanted to make sure and touch on because very few people are talking about it, and I've only had one opportunity to play it, is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. And this is the game that at the top of the show I said could have actually worked just fine on the Wii U. The basic principle is the person with the VR headset has a bomb in front of them, like a suitcase bomb. And
So this is like you're Air Force One, you're Harrison Ford, and you're trying to read off how to decode this bomb from someone that knows how to do it, right?
yes and no. Yeah, I mean, basically, you have this briefcase style bomb that can have up to, if I remember correctly, 11 different modules with 5 like tertiary modules. So There's a lot of complexity, and the person looking at the bomb is the only one that can see the bomb. The person using the TV can flip through a digital manual, or if you only have one controller, because they're going to need a controller to flip through on the TV, they can go to, I believe it's bombmanual.com and get a digital version. Or if you've got a high-speed laser printer like myself, you can print out the 32-page bomb defusal manual and have a hard copy to go
I would
through.
get that in a binder, get a 3-ring binder, get some laminate, you know.
Yes, already done. But it's like, okay, you're sitting there talking and you're saying, okay, I've got a wire module. Okay, your friend's going to ask, how many wires do you have? Oh, this one has 4 wires. The colors are yellow, yellow, black, blue.
So it's easy to explain what you're seeing?
No, not at all. That's the only module that is easy to explain. I'm sorry, not the only one, but there is another module that has 4 buttons that you press, and the buttons have symbols that in no way, shape, or form line up to standard English-looking symbols. I mean, half of them don't even hardly look like Greek alphabet letters. I mean, you're sitting here trying to describe these. Like, there's one that looks like a 3, but laying on its side, so it kind of looks like the profile of a butt, but it has what looks like a comma and an umlaut above it. And it's just, you're trying to describe this to your friend because you have to describe all 4 symbols.
Yeah, this would totally work on Wii U because you basically just need to hide that screen, right?
Yep. Because the other thing is it doesn't use the Move controllers. You simply, like on the wires, for example, you select the wire module using your analog stick and the X button, and then it'll let you select which wire you want to cut. All of that could have been done on the Wii U, but it is a lot of fun. I appreciate.
Great party game. This is like the Thanksgiving game to have.
I appreciate having it in VR. It's very enjoyable. It was nerve-wracking but entertaining, and it was just good fun.
Now, talk about a little about the PS Move controllers in VR. Does it feel like you have hands when you're doing that?
After spending 2 hours with Batman Arkham VR and then taking the headset off, I wasn't quite sure how my hands worked anymore.
Yes, they can. The Move controllers can make.
I had almost perfect one-for-one movement. I also, contrary to some videos that were uploaded, I had no problem when I picked up the sheet music or the note in the morgue. I had no problem. I saw a video of somebody holding it, and in their PSVR, the item was moving and shaking everywhere. Mine had no issue like that. It had perfect tracking.
The lighting and stuff in your room. I would love at some point to get Move gloves. So you're wearing these gloves and there's sensors inside. So then you can have virtual piano you're playing, stuff like that.
Yes,
that needs to be a thing.
It could be one day. I dare say they might have to upgrade their camera a little bit, but I had no issue with it. Move controllers worked just fine. It was so natural playing Batman Arkham VR. Yeah.
When are we gonna get a lightsaber battle game? I want to be having lightsaber battles and me believing it because it's all the sensories.
We're more likely to just get stereotypical fantasy battle before lightsaber battle, but yeah.
What's up with the Star Wars guys? Why isn't it going to start doing stuff?
I just think that, I mean, we're going to get the Star Wars Battlefront, but they're just not big into the game space right now.
It's disappointing.
Yeah. But I mean, let's be honest.
Do you think sword fighting would be a thing with the Move controller, or
that's what I'm saying.
Too much moving around.
No, I think it could very easily be a thing. I had plenty, like I said, I had no issue with my tracking. That, yes, I dare say you're going to get that. There's no doubt about that. Now, mind you, a lot of it probably will be a lot like Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword level tracking, having to slash in a specific direction or dodge or block in a specific direction.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
I want, Jason, online sword fighting, me versus you in VR.
I got one better. It's a game on the Vive VR right now called Unbound, if I remember the name correctly. I want a variation of that to come to PSVR, where it's basically online, you against another person spell casting, and the nature of...
like Harry Potter, like on the table...
more like, okay, I got to do a circular movement with this hand and a square movement with this hand to cast a spell, and you're trying to cast spells at each other, and you can charge one spell with one hand and one spell with... I want that.
That sounds great. I love
that sounds fracking amazing.
Now there is air hockey that is out. I've not tried this at all
I'm a little hesitant. I saw a great video of
because
that.
there's no weight. You're not pushing down anything. Right?
I saw a great video of that pool pro like almost falling over repeatedly trying
Because
to
like yeah,
play.
it feels like if you think the table's there, you just fall right over. You need
Yes.
like you need a real table that you're like playing on top of. Like
Yes.
augmented reality kind of like augmented reality would turn a real table into a pool table kind of stuff. That's what we
Absolutely.
need for that kind of stuff. Now, I was going to talk about Thumper, but I really want to talk about Kitchen demo really quickly. This is the Resident Evil demo. And Jason, have you done this demo?
Yes, I did, but I also knew
Did this make you just scream and tear?
I appreciated it, and it was a good job of, especially
You were defenseless in this thing where this person is gonna knife you and kill you, and evidently your head does get chopped off, and you look back and there's your body, and they're holding up your head, and you're just not sure what the hell is going on here, and a full game of this, Jason would I'm excited to be horrified like this.
I can tell you I enjoyed it, but at no point was I actually scared or worried.
Because your hands are tied, you can't do anything.
It was wonderfully done there. I
had no idea this was Resident Evil. I just kitchen. Let me load kitchen. I don't know what kitchen. Then it loaded up. It's like this is the best of kitchen.
Yeah, well, also, not only did I know, but I did play the Resident Evil 7 teaser demo, and I
demo, right?
Yes, but I recognized the kitchen because that kitchen is in the demo.
Okay. Do you think Resident Evil 7 will be move based or controller based?
I personally, I don't even. What did you use in kitchen? I mean, I remember playing it, but I don't remember.
Controller.
Did you? Then
you use move probably because it's basically just tracking your hands. That's all you have the option to do. You move your hands.
Yeah. I personally, I'm really interested in a good shooter that's going to track hands separately. Resident Evil 7, while survival horror, is also a shooting game that I'm interested in doing that with the move. So here's hoping.
Man, it freaked the hell out of me. Like,
we also know you're faint of heart.
It's like someone literally was stabbing me with a knife.
We also know you're a little faint of heart, Tim.
Hey, I may get scared in some games, like PT, but man, that's so real when it's like someone's having a knife and they're killing you with it. So that one's not for the faint of heart.
Yes. Other than that, I mean, I do want to touch on, while I've spent probably the most time in Batman and or Eve, I also wanted to really touch on Riggs more than anything else, because it was the first thing I booted up. And I will tell you flat out, well, actually, Eve and Riggs, the first time I played them, they were only about 15-minute sessions. They both gave me slight motion sickness.
I'll tell you, elevators give me the biggest. As same with Greg Miller, who was talking about elevators. I thought he was just like, what's he talking about? That's so real. Elevators are not good, and my brain's not there yet.
In order, I played Riggs, Eve, and then Batman Arkham VR. And by the time I got to Arkham VR, I was already comfortable, and having gone back to both Riggs and Eve, I've had no issue with motion sickness since the first time I played both of those. So I dare say I have my VR legs. But I will tell you, when you boot up Riggs and you get the opening scene / cinematic, which has these giant rigs running around you doing maneuvers, and you're spinning in your chair, and you get a sense of scope as you have to look up, and up to see the top of these things, that was the moment that I knew I don't think I could ever go back.
So no Titanfall 2 for you. You got Riggs. You're good.
Yeah, honestly. It changes everything. And I personally, I know Greg.
Matches like this is a sports game, but you're in a rig, a mech.
You're basically staying alive until you charge up, and once you get up to 100% charge, you're trying to jump through a hoop to get points for your team.
Are there other game modes? Because I played them in the demo and I couldn't score. I just couldn't do it.
Honestly, I don't know if there are. That's the only thing I've done, but I also enjoy it.
Like I played the demo, and I couldn't figure out how to charge up. I couldn't score. I was just like useless in that game.
I believe the advice is get good.
I see. Okay. It is like a sports game though, where there is career mode and stuff like
It was
that.
made to be an esport, I believe. I personally would love to see it become an esport. I enjoyed it. I like the like I said. Greg Miller originally said he doesn't care for the shooting wherever you're looking, head tracking and
Hmm.
movement, but it feels so natural and so amazing to me that I personally I'm glad they went with that.
Of on the demo disc, at least, if you're playing the demos, I think the best demo was that Battle Zone tank game. Of all the demos I played, that one sold me the most. On the control panel in front of you felt the best, well designed as far as seeing the map in front of you and all that stuff.
I
Um,
appreciated the aesthetic for Battlezone on the demo disc, but I will be honest, actually playing the game talked me out of buying it.
what do you mean by that?
After playing Eve Valkyrie and Riggs, the controls of the tank just did not work for me. I think there were
Okay,
much.
because based on the demos, my favorite was Battlezone. But you're saying in the full games, like after you learned the controls in those other two games that were so different, the Battlezone felt so wrong.
Yes.
Curious. Okay,
Did you play Eve or
I played the
Riggs?
Eve demo, but the Eve demo was like 2 seconds long and completely useless for
See,
me.
yeah,
As soon as the
I
game,
can't tell
it's
you what the
such like
demo.
why do they, they should really give you a bigger the better the bigger the demo, the more likely I am to buy your game.
There are some good single player missions. There was a single player mission in Eve where there's a giant frigate and we have a spy who we've lost communication with. So we're trying to infiltrate the frigate, drop the communication nodes in certain places and exfil. But of course we get into a dogfight and I swear to God, I felt like Luke Skywalker doing the trench run on the Death Star, flying in and out of the beams and the assorted pieces of this frigate because it's not like, oh, here's a big ship and you can't fly in between the pieces. No, you can fly all but in between the wheels and the pipes on the thing.
Yeah, I
And
hear it is like that experience, and I really want to have it at some point.
it's
Is
amazing.
Eve your favorite game on VR so far?
I have such a hard time picking a favorite based off of what you want. Multiplayer, yeah, Eve probably is my favorite.
Yeah, best multiplayer game.
Single player experience, I'm sorry, just for the experience, Batman Arkham VR because I'm freaking Batman. Single player relaxing game, Super
Hyper cute.
Hypercube. Party game, I absolutely love Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I almost everything I have bought, I am in instant love with.
No,
And
I'm
I
so excited for the Star Wars Battlefront. I will be in an X-wing, and it will be amazing, Jason.
well,
It'll be short, but it'll be amazing.
the only coming out that I'm interested in, the three big ones are the Resident Evil 7 full game, which we've been talking about. I'm interested in Farpoint, which comes out sometime in 2017, and I can't wait for that new PlayStation aim controller. And then Star Trek Bridge Crew, which literally earlier today got delayed out of December into, I want to say, January or February of next year. But those are
Now
the,
that game, how many people do you need to play it?
I believe, four, but not local, for online.
I do need 4 people to play that game. Like, there's no option playing with less people, right?
I don't know. I haven't played it. There's no.
And yeah, okay, that's me a tough challenge, even if they're online. Finding a time where you can get 4 people together to that have VR as well. It's gonna be a challenge.
I don't think it will be as much of a challenge as
Are
you
you
think.
what? You have to
Finding
know these people. It's not gonna be like
Not
meeting
really.
strangers, right?
Why not? Why
Is there
not?
gonna be random? Is it gonna have a mode where you connect to random people? You think?
The game's not out yet, but I would have to assume so.
Okay. Okay. Um, Thumper, I will talk more about in the next episode. All I should say is the demo on the disc. The demo disc is great, and that demo is very full featured. It's an entire chapter of the game, and it's a big meaty chunk. Um, and the other things I just recommend is Playroom VR, that platformer level. It's basically like Super Mario 64. This is like the beginning of platforming on VR. It's that level of like, oh wow, this is what we can do in this kind of mode.
This
Um,
works.
this works, yeah, for sure. Um, The other demos that I really liked. What else? That was the big demo that actually sold me on that game, which is not that expensive. It's like a $20. Thumper's like $20. It has a non-VR mode, but that mode is not nearly as good.
Tim, did you buy Batman or no?
No, because I'm waiting for the Move controllers, and my understanding is that game is useless without them.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time with a little bit more time with Batman Arkham VR. Try and go ahead and platinum that, and then afterwards, I would probably be willing to send it to you. Yeah. There's not much replay value in it, so
I like that idea.
You know, and that let me know. We can talk offline. I'll probably go ahead and that's the advantage of having a disc.
That's true. I'm mostly digital with my stuff there. And then the other thing, the Hulu app got updated for VR, Jason. So you can be virtually in some like high-end New York apartment. You can be on the beach watching your TV.
You know what else got updated for VR? The Media Player app.
The Media Player.
I'm looking to get some VR video.
What kind of video there, Jason?
Just anything to try. Yeah. I want to see what kind of content is out there.
Totally. And Danganronpa.
I'm so jealous.
Is in Japan, but it's not in English yet.
I might be looking up how to download a Japanese PSN game to check that out. Because I played Danganronpa 1. I very much enjoyed it. I want to dive in on Danganronpa 2 and Danganronpa 3 when those come out. Well, come out for PS4. Because I played 1 on the Vita. Great experience. I personally am not trying to go through and platinum them. I just enjoy the games. So, yeah.
Yep, cool. Well, next episode, Aaron will hopefully be on, and he'll talk about some of his stuff. And we'll have a lot more to dive into as well. There's a lot of stuff.
Just other general news.
In other general news, yeah. This isn't going to be an all VR show, but we will talk about it because that's what we're playing most right now. And
yeah.
There's a lot of other experiences that I haven't even talked about that I have really enjoyed. Briefly, I should mention your favorite game of a couple of years ago, Shadow Mortar, got updated for PS4 Pro with 4K support. So,
you really buried the lead there. I was convinced you were about to tell me that they somehow supported PSVR in that, and it was going to be over. We were about to hang up this call.
Yes, you were. Yes. But no, it's got 4K support. Aren't you happy?
I will tell you, honestly, after playing PSVR, when my PS4 starts whirring like a jet engine, I'm actually contemplating a PS4 Pro upgrade.
I'll be curious what it does for VR as far as on one of the shows, Remaster, they were talking about it's not the limitation of the screen that you're looking at as much what it's able to spit out to the screen is what you're seeing as far as some of the limitations of PSVR, which there are some, but it's been overall really great.
Yes.
And then NBA, basketball. They'll be broadcasting a game every week in virtual reality, but not PSVR at this time. They said they'll add other headsets in the future, so you'd imagine the most popular one would get support for it.
Yeah. It should be pointed out, speaking of the most popular one type of thing, that it is an independent analyst is estimating 2.6 million PSVRs sold by end of year, which the other people aren't reporting numbers, but it should be pointed out that most independent analysts state that's probably going to be more than the number of Vives or Rifts that have been sold, if not combined.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
More people. I'd imagine the attach rate is really high. So developers should be happy. I'd imagine people are buying games for this because they're the most ecstatic. I mean, they're the most... They bought this hardware, so they need stuff to play on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, actual games that I've bought, I think I'm up to 6, if not 7 titles. Super Hypercube, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, World War Tunes, which I'll rag on later.
And then, I would recommend. I haven't got this yet, but Gunjack. It's like $8 or $9. It's I've heard great things for you go in every now and then and defend like your tower. From space invasion.
Which it's actually a shoot off of the Eve Valkyrie series. It's more of an on rails shooter as opposed to a actual flight sim.
Yeah, it sounds like you're like Millennium Falcon turret. You're just like in your turrets
Yes.
and shooting the stuff from the sky, and I heard
And
it's
it's
a
not
great deal.
expensive. And it's not expensive. I think it's like
No,
$20.
it's like $8 or $9. It's
Oh, okay.
cheap.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. As far as VR, as far as games go, it's on the low end of the spectrum there. Um, and
And I
definitely.
love that there is a spectrum on the costs of these
Oh yeah,
games.
you have experiences anywhere from $5 to the full price $60 game. So.
Yes.
And a lot of the lower cost games are some of the best. That is a true statement for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll dive into more of our experiences. I've watched like a full TV show with the headset on just to see what that would be like.
Me too.
And
I've
yeah,
also
we'll talk
played
about that stuff next time.
I've also played a game in cinematic mode.
Cool deal. Yeah, we'll dive into that more next time.
All right.
With that, Jason, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at Risen Devil on Twitter, PSN, Xbox One, pretty much everything, especially with PSVR these days. That's probably the only place you're really going to actually find me, though.
Cool deal. My handle is TCHATN. You go to youtube.com/TChan for the video version of the show. And we'll be back next time for level 9.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.